Welcome to State of Tech. My name's Jared, and today I wanted to talk about 5 things that I like about the Samsung Galaxy S7 Edge. Now, I got this phone and immediately fell in love with it just because of these 5 reasons. It's a great phone, it's a beautiful device, and it's from the design standpoint, it is completely different than most other phones. It's definitely one of the only phones that when you put it down on the table, somebody notices that there's something different about your phone. Part of me really likes that. I like having something that's different, especially since the majority of the phones out there all look relatively the same these days, and there isn't really too much that sets them apart from each other. So the number one thing that I'm going to talk about here first is the display of this S7 Edge. The S7 and the S7 Edge just have a beautifully vibrant display. It's beautiful. The colors are great. It's just in your face. It's an obvious difference when you're looking at this device compared to other devices. Samsung just has their displays just beautifully designed and built, and the S7 Edge just makes it look even that much neater because of the curved edges, albeit a little gimmicky, but at the same time, it still just makes it very, very brilliant looking. So the camera is another thing that I really like about this device. The camera on Samsung Galaxy devices has really been pretty decent in the last couple of years, and it's really shown, especially so in the S7 Edge phone here. The S7 Edge has a great camera on the back. It captures really nice photos, especially outside during the daylight. The photos just look great. The sky always looks blue. It's just a really nice level of contrast on the photo. In the past, they've kind of overemphasized the contrast, and I think they've got it down to a perfect amount now to where the photo just really looks good. Now, this device doesn't necessarily excel in low light. In comparisons between the iPhone 6s Plus and this phone, the iPhone 6s Plus is a little bit better in low light than this phone, but most phones aren't going to do that well in low light anyways, so it really comes down to, how good on average is this phone producing nice photos, and the S7 Edge definitely does a great job at that. The one thing that this phone does lack, if we're comparing it to the iPhone 6s Plus, is optical image stabilization. When you're hand holding your phone and taking photos or video, having that optical image stabilization definitely does help a little bit. However, the optical stabilization on the iPhone isn't really that great. When vibration is introduced, it just falls apart and actually causes more problems than it does anything else on the iPhone 6s Plus. So not having that at all on the S7 Edge does mean that you're going to have to hold your phone a little bit steadier if you want that steady video or if you want that photo to make sure there isn't any blur in it. But I think the sacrifices go both ways that are made with optical stabilization in something so tiny as a phone. So the sleek design is another thing that I really enjoy about the S7 Edge. This phone is a little bit smaller than the iPhone 6s Plus because there are less bezels. The screen goes all the way to the edge, so there isn't any wasted width on this phone. And then also with the height of the phone, there is a lot less of real estate at the top and the bottom of the phone, whereas the iPhone has its taller phone because it has more area for the buttons and everything up and above and below the screen. And what I like about that is that it just makes this phone feel good in your hand. I've always felt that the iPhone 6s Plus and even last year's version of the Samsung Galaxy S6 Edge Plus, they were just too large of a phone for me to use single-handedly, and I am commonly using my phone in one hand and like to be able to at least reach the majority of the screen one-handed. So the sleek design of this S7 Edge is just fantastic. I do have a case on it that adds a little bit of bulk, but it still feels really good to me, considering the fact that this phone is majority of it is glass. I wanted to make sure that I had a case on it, and I am using the Pelican case that's available only through AT&T, and so you can buy it from AT&T even if you don't have an AT&T phone, but it is, from what I understand, only available from AT&T. So less bezel, that's the next thing, number 4, that I really find super important about this device. The less bezel means that it has less a bulk to the phone. This phone is relatively thin. It is smaller in comparison to the iPhone 6s Plus, which makes it just feel really good in my hand, and I really like that about this device. So normal tasks are extremely snappy. That's the last thing that I find just extremely useful about this device, is that moving around the phone is extremely snappy. Moving from app to app, moving back to the app drawer, moving to the home screen, getting into other apps, getting into multitask mode, all of those things are extremely fast, and it doesn't take much time. There's really minimal lag there. There are areas where I do find lag in this phone, but as far as getting and navigating throughout the phone, it is extremely fast. They don't waste time on, animations, moving in and out of things. Everything, it flows really fast. It happens really quickly. It's very smooth, and I like how snappy it is. So those are the top 5 things that I found I really like about the Galaxy S7 Edge. It's a fantastic device. If you are interested in this device, I will post a link below in the description to where you could purchase it and find out more information about this device on Amazon. So make sure you also check out the additional video, which are the top 5 things about this phone that I don't like. So if you're considering this device, considering switching to a Galaxy S7 or S7 Edge, make sure that you watch the other video as well. Thanks again. If you like this video, subscribe to our channel and click like, and we'll see you next time on State of Tech.